This is probably one of the top 12 of all storms ever seen on this planet.
Super Typhoon Haiyan has made a direct hit on the island.
The storm plowed through the island, leaving homes and buildings
This
destroyed.
monster storm, it is so big, it's affecting 2/3 of the country.
November the 8th, 2013 marked one of the most devastating events to hit the Philippines. A disaster so terrifying that left a trail of death and suffering in its wake. And a city changed forever.
Of all the flood areas that I've ever witnessed since Sandong, Ondoy, Pablo, and other places, I think this is quite a calamity here.
The city looks badly damaged. It's clearly much worse than I had thought before I came here.
Neighborhoods were demolished and left unrecognizable. Families were separated and forced to ride out the typhoon on their own. Water rose dangerously high, and some were caught in the current.
I just so devastated to see how tremendous was the damage to my neighborhood.
Laki na ng tubig, takbuhan na doon sa kalsada, mga tao sa eskwelahan. Oo, sa eskwelahan. Yung iba naman naiwan, natrap na sila.
Moments after the storm made landfall, a local man was placed in a desperate situation to save his family.
Kusog ng magmayang hangin. Perti kusugan ng hangin, nadupad ng mga atop diha. Pila lang kasikans, pulbon dagat diha, lapas anang building nga diha. Kung awa na, patay na tatanan. Tapusin tungtong ko anang estrada. Kaya mga bata, ipasuod naman namo kay itong paghangin lagi. Kaya mga nagtuyok-tuyok naman diha sa balay, kaya alimpos man.
The tide came rushing in to the coastal village. Time was running out. The situation was too much for one man to handle.
Ito nga pagkuhan, saka ko sa atopan ng estrada kaya ko abrihan kay di man lagi ka mga blian dito sa sud. Aw gipukpok, wa man gyud mabuak. Ang tumbling ang kuhan ng estrada, mga largo ngadto. Wow, gilangoy ngadto. Tapos kay wa na may naglihok. Ngita ko, balik ko dire kay katigaman man may halublak din eh. Aw gipuak ang bintana. Ito nga ang usa na ako nga nagkanaana pa magkamot mo da ako gidali pagtuwad daw tumbahan an awa nang uban ng duha ko gihapon di pambumbahan wa gyud na kuan
Pila imong anak niya?
Tuluan sa kaya to.
Typhoon Haiyan's landfall destroyed not only properties, but lives as well. Yolanda village was one of the worst affected areas. 4 cargo ships smashed the coastside village without warning. Some say bodies are still trapped beneath them. Surviving individuals are still traumatized by how much they lost in the storm.
Perli doon, usa nga survivor han Super Typhoon Yolanda nga di ko nagyap ma-accept ang tanan nga natabuha amon, inidinhi nga amon lugar, labi na nga nawalayan ako ni mama. Pero nga kabugtuan.
Typhoons are a common occurrence in the Philippines, but Typhoon Yolanda was far from ordinary. The citizens of Tacloban underestimated the oncoming storm. Clinics and medical facilities were no exception to Typhoon Haiyan's fury.
Bigla manggod ang usog kaayo ang hangin, murag mauyog ang among klinik. Niya ang ground murag igi-shake tungod sa kakusog sa hangin.
Joy and her clinic was one of the worst to be hit. Floodwaters submerged the clinic. Black and murky water smashed in and trapped Joy inside.
Makita gyud namo nga piting ka itom nya kalit bigla kusog kayong tubig nga ni sulod sa amo ang klinik. Dala namo tanan diri sa likod. Diri mi naka akong husband kutob sa ceiling.
Joy survived, but the events of that day will haunt her forever. The loss of electricity and diminishing supplies worsened the city's conditions. And with no sign of help, the city fell into chaos.
And my wife and I saw lots of dead bodies just littered along the highway from here in Apito up to San Jose. We did not have any communication at all. So there was this scarcity of food, and some of the people were forced to loot. And the looting was rampant that the government was there was total breakdown of the government to control the looting.
After the storm had passed came the undeniable grief and loss of Tacloban's citizens. The situation is at its darkest. Many lost their lives and loved ones. The worst affected of all are the children, one of which is Caesar, who lost his parents and siblings to the storm. Caesar's family was one of many caught by Typhoon Haiyan. Unprepared for the harsh wind and rising water. Unfortunately, not everyone was lucky enough to survive. In just one day, Caesar lost those closest to him.
Aroy kidamo kami bumagsak alam ato pagbagsak iton ini lang anak-anak karag kuan man ini nakapot nga niya papa pati sa nga anak nanlangoy kami ton langoy di nga anak maram kun nahi nga inain hirap ini nakabuli ko niya papa kay kuan naman na igo naman ang kahoy papa didi nakabuli wiya pagbuli niya didto nakadto pa man ang balay ni Mantitoy pagkaron pag irabali nakita nini nga naglilinangoy kinagtitinawag mang kuya pagko sa buti preksi nga nakanto ni Cesar iya na lagi ginhalbot si Cesar para mahingad to dito ang balay ni Maling.
Caesar was saved and brought to the evacuation centre along with other survivors. The typhoon destroyed Tacloban. Fallen trees and debris were scattered along the streets, and worst of all, bodies began to pile up. Caesar's family could not be found. Unknown to Caesar, his family had been swept away by the storm. Fortunately, his grandmother had survived the ordeal and found him.
Pagkanto namon, eskwelahan, nakanto man inan iya mga auntie ha. Harisal, dito kami ng bakwit. Amay ton nga, pagkanto ko, kayo naman ini nakakanto ha, Rizal, ginkuha man nira, iya angkol nga usa. Pagkanto ko, nakanto na ina Rizal. Pagkita akon, tawag ako dayo nga. Nasingya akon, Mama, adik didi, nalito ngayon na Rizal na.
After the storm passed and the waters receded, there was a bitter realization. The devastation caused by Typhoon Haiyan had left many scarred and homeless. Casualties had risen to thousands, and over 3 million families were affected. In Palo Tacloban, large holes were quickly dug to dispose of the rotting bodies piling up on the streets. Unfortunately, the mass grave could not be completed fast enough due to the continuous rainfall. Instead, bodies had to be layered on top of one another.
Among estimate din sa mga patay, sobra 700, pero ang uban, dili siya identified. Ang na-identified nato is 435. Kani siya mo na last nga hole nga gi-cover. Yan ay mga ginagmay nga mga kuan na kuha tag individual na lamo ni nga gilubong-lubong sila nag-usa-usa. So kani mga na-recover na ni mga bones including ni siya diri.
After 5 days, the first help arrived. US soldiers brought fresh supplies and medical care into the city. Soon after, various relief organizations from all over the world arrived in Tacloban city, providing much-needed relief and support.
Well, our goal is to support the medical system here throughout the entire affected area, particularly in Tacloban. So what Direct Relief does is receive medical material donations from large companies like Pfizer, Abbott, Baxter, what have you, and make sure that people get them on the ground that are the most in need so that they can put them to use in the recovery of the health system here.
It took months, but with the efforts of many kind people, the victims of Typhoon Haiyan are finally catching a glimpse of hope on the horizon.
Ang families dito na nakatira is 528 families composed na 2,358 individuals. So, ito yung pinakamalaking bunkhouse sa Tacloban. Araw-araw marami pong pupunta dito mga organizations, sa mga NGO, private, and government na tumutulong sa wash areas, sa relief, sa feeding, sa mga spiritual.
There is still a long way to go, but many are optimistic for the future.
Well, I think One World Institute is here to just find out from the mayor and the government officials and medical professionals, as well as the people that have been devastated here, what they really need in order to rebuild their lives. I think not only do they need shelter, they need livelihood, they need a way to earn a living so they can send their children to school, put a roof over their heads, and food on the table.
United, the people of Tacloban stand not as victims, but as victors.
Just that, the international community, and to the degree that we're a part of it, has been, honored to help in this situation. It's something where it's an unprecedented disaster for the Philippines, and we will continue to help as long as our help is needed.
Karon akong giaghat ang tanan niya mga health workers nga sa panahon niya ingon ani sa mga disaster time dili ta maghunahuna og selfishness sa atong kaugalingon nga para lang sa atong kaugalingon kun dili magtinabangay ta padayon ta ang muhatag sa atong serbisyo diretso sa atong mga tao ug dili ta magkuan og selfishness sa atong kasing-kasing sa pagtabang